Hi everyone, welcome to Ottawa Tech Media, where we talk all things tech and also media. Today's video is a special one. It's not our regular unboxing video that I typically do. Today is actually going to be about setting up a speaker stand that I have with us today. I've actually gone ahead and unboxed it already. So this speaker stand actually comes in two pairs, in pairs of two. But for the sake of keeping this video short, what I've done is I'm actually going to unwrap and also set up only one of the speaker stands. So these are the Definitive Technology speaker stands that are specifically made for the D11 Definitive Technology speakers that I have over to my left here. So these are one of their largest bookshelf speakers that Definitive Technology has to offer, and these speaker stands called the Definitive Technology ST1 were made specifically for the bookshelf speakers that I have to my left here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and unwrap each one of the contents that were in the box. And again, this is just one half of the speaker stands. So this main one right here, this is going to be the main column for the speaker stand. It looks like it's made out of steel. Yep, steel. So it's pretty sturdy. Definitely has some weight to it. This speaker stand actually weighs about, I believe, 15 pounds each, fully assembled. And you can see right here that it actually has a rubber gasket that is on the top of where the speaker is actually going to sit. And you're probably wondering, well, you got this big old speaker to the side here. How are you going to make sure that it doesn't fall off or anything like that? So what Definitive Technology actually included is a threaded insert, so it might be a little tough to see, but there's actually a threaded insert that they created a hole for at the top here that corresponds to the bottom of the Definitive Technology D11 and also D9, because these speaker stands were made for the D9 and D11 speakers. So you can see right there at the bottom of the speakers, you have some threaded inserts. So they do give you a screw that you can go ahead and use to attach the speakers to the stand so that you can secure it and make sure that it's not going to fall over or accidentally you don't knock it over or anything like that. So this is that. The second item that I'm going to go ahead and unwrap is the base. So this is actually the base of the speaker stand. This one is not made of steel. It definitely has a good finish to it. So the bottom of the base is a glossy finish. However, the top is actually a textured finish, which I thought was interesting. But I guess it helps prevent some scratches from happening since this is going to be at the bottom of the speaker stand. And you can see the Definitive Technology logo at the bottom here. And you do have some threaded inserts where the actual sound isolation feet of the speaker stands go into, which we'll go ahead and unwrap next. And this is made out of MDF, so it's a wood material. Has some weight to it. Alright, so next we have the actual, take these out real quick. So these are the pegs that actually go into the bottom of the speaker stand base. So what you'll do is actually, depending on what your floors are, so if you have hardwood floors, you may, you want to keep the rubber covering on because it's going to mess up your hardwood floors. So you can see right here, you can just thread it in like that, like so. And this will make sure that you don't get any weird vibration from the speakers. These speakers technically don't go too low, so you're not gonna see too much vibration, but at the same time, it's nice that they included the rubber top for it. So you can go ahead and insert it in here. And what's also neat about this little piece here, the feet, you can actually take it out. So if you have carpet floors, you can actually go ahead and use this where you can take the rubber piece off. So that way this is going to sit directly on the carpet. And what this will ensure is that it has direct contact. And because it's a pointy edge, you're not gonna get any sort of vibrations or anything like that happening. So this is good for sound isolation. All right. The next item, let me actually open this one up. So this is just a decorative piece. This is made out of aluminum. It's just a sleeve that you put at the bottom of the speaker stand column, and it matches with the trim piece that you see here on the speaker. Same color, same finish. So it definitely gives it that uniform look, and you know that this stand is made specifically for the D11 and also D9 speakers, so they definitely match. So I'm gonna put this to the side here. Last piece here that's required to assemble the speaker stands is the screws that it comes with. So these screws actually attach the column to the base of the speaker stand. They also give you an Allen wrench that you can use. And actually, last but not least, I don't want to leave this one out. This is the most important piece right here. So this little screw right here is actually what's going to go through this hole that we talked about earlier. So you go through here and actually attach it to the speaker. So you put the speaker on top of here and screw it in. And that'll make sure that the speaker is nice and secure. So fully assembled, the speaker stand is about 30 inches tall. And when you put the speaker on top of it, it's going to be about 43 inches because this speaker is about 13 inches tall. So I think that's a pretty good, listening height. So it's not too tall from, a normal listening position, and it looks, it's going to look pretty nice. So let's go ahead and put this together, and then the final thing that we'll do is actually set the speaker on top, and I'll show you how to screw the bottom threaded piece in. So we're just gonna switch views here. I'm gonna have a little close-up so that it's a little easier to see. One of the first things that I would recommend you try to do is actually go ahead and put in the feet, depending on what type of floors you have. So if you have carpet floors, you may want to take this out, or I would strongly recommend you take this out if you have carpet floors, and then you can go ahead and insert this in right here into each hole, like so. So if you have hardwood floors, you can keep, you can put the speaker stand base like this, the way it is, if you want. But I would recommend putting in the rubber feet right here so that you get that sound isolation. So we'll go ahead and put in each one of these speaker, the little feet here. So now that the base is ready, what we can do is actually go ahead and flip it over. Because the first thing that we're gonna do is, if you remember that sleeve I mentioned, the trim piece, this aluminum trim piece, this has to go in first before you put the base on. And what I would make sure that you do is, if you see the Definitive Technology logo, make sure it faces the other side of where you have that mounting hole for the threaded insert into the speaker. So we'll go ahead and put that in, because the threaded insert is going to go towards the back of the speaker, and the Definitive Technology logo that you see here should be towards the front. So let's just set this, or to make it easier, what we'll actually do is set it like this and then flip it over. And just try your best to line it up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take these screws here that are provided with the little kit and put it into each hole that we have here. And what you want to make sure you do is you hand tighten it first, so that you don't cross thread any of the holes here for the base to connect to the column. So once you have it snug and tighten using your hand, next thing you want to do is use the Allen key that is also provided in the kit and just tighten it up. All right, now that we have this tightened and everything is snug, what we'll do is just flip this over. And you can see what I was saying earlier. You want to make sure that the Definitive Technology logo right here is facing out, because this needs to be towards the front so that it's seen. And then the hole at the top needs to be towards the back. So this mounting hole that we're going to attach to the bottom of the speaker needs to be towards the back. The last thing that we have left to do is actually, we're gonna go ahead and set the speaker on top. I've already put the speaker on top of the speaker stand here and made sure that the hole aligns with the hole on the actual stand itself. And I've noticed they actually included a rubber, some sort of rubber gasket type of thing. And this may have been just the packaging thing to protect the screw or something, because I've noticed if I put the screw in with the rubber gasket in place, the screw doesn't actually go all the way in. So I tend to take this off so that it has, you know, it holds onto the speaker much stronger, and you know, the screw can go all the way in. So sometimes when you're trying to put the screw in, it tends to put up a little fight. So all you have to do is just screw it in place and only hand tighten. And there's really no need to use some sort of like vice grip or anything like that. Hand tightening it should be plenty to get it secure. Because of that rubber gasket that's in place, like we talked about earlier, this speaker is really not going to move around too much. That rubber gasket is going to hold it in place. And you can also see the speaker itself also has the same type of rubber at the bottom of the speaker, so that way it prevents it from sliding around, and as well as if you have these speakers sitting on top of your shelf or something, it prevents any sort of vibration, unwanted vibration, from taking place. One thing I did want to mention is Definitive Technology does mention that if you would like, because these speakers are about 15 pounds like I mentioned earlier, you do have the option of filling this column in with sand if you want. So I may do that down the line, but for now I don't think that's necessary. But yeah, you can basically take this top plate off, and then there's a cavity inside of here. Fill it up with sand so that it has an additional weight, and it's weighted down on the ground. And it also helps with, you know, sound dampening, as well as preventing any additional vibrations from taking place, because the column is going to be nice and sturdy and heavy. So you do have that added benefit of filling this in with some sort of sand material so that it's weighted down. We've gone ahead and assembled the speaker stands. Looks pretty sharp. I've gone ahead and connected it to the Definitive Technology D11 bookshelf speakers here. It's on there pretty tight. I don't feel it doing any sort of sliding or anything like that, so I feel pretty confident about it being secure. Like I mentioned earlier, one thing you can also do is actually add some sand into the columns here, so that way it's, you know, more sturdy, and also helps with the vibration in addition to the rubber feet at the bottom. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this looks in our family room. I think this is going to be a good addition to our setup. Really nice finish. It complements these speakers really well. Although there are other speaker stands that you can also take a look at, I think for these bookshelf speakers, I can't imagine any other speaker stands other than the ones made by Definitive Technology. They feel like they are just made together and, you know, came with the speaker itself. So I like those. If you enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll go ahead and subscribe. I do have more content coming out. I'm going to be reviewing the actual Definitive Technology D11 speakers here, so I'm looking forward to that. So be on the lookout for that video coming out. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.